You cannot have a country where the American people keep on electing immigration enforcement and the courts tell the American people they're not allowed to have what they voted for. And that's where we are right now. We're going to keep working it through the immigration court process, through the Supreme Court as much as possible. And look, success to me is not so much a number, though obviously I'd love to see the gross majority of the illegal immigrants who came in under Biden deported. That actually is a secondary metric of success. Success to me is that we have established a set of rules and principles that the courts are comfortable with and that we have the infrastructure to do that allows us to deport large numbers of illegal aliens when large numbers of illegal aliens come into the country. That to me is real success.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Well, boy, y'all done pissed off stepdaddy. I told you, a new sheriff is in town. Daddy's home. And guess what? The stepdaddy is working with the biological father. Stepdaddy done broke the internet. The VP, we actually have a vice president. Oh, some of them say he might be ready for 2028. I'm just saying, I had to throw it out there. That's what some of them patriots are saying. But he sounds just like us in this internet breaking clip. What we've been saying, what I've said in hundreds of videos in the last couple of weeks, months, you know. They say, Rick, sir, turn your hat forward, sir. Rick, don't turn it sideways, Rick. Stop acting like a thug. Stop acting like a Democrat, Rick. Stop acting like a liberal thug. Turn your hat forward, sir. Okay? You got to act professional, Rick. I seen in the comments in the last video we did of breaking the news of what's going on in DC, man, the chaos. And I want to send a huge shout out to you because it said, Rick, I don't like that hoodie you had on. Y'all know the hoodie. A lot of hoodie hats and stuff that I have, everything, merch. A lot of this stuff was sent in to me, you guys. Okay, so if you see something you don't like or something like this, most of the time a family member or part of the channel has gifted me that gift. Okay. It's a blessing. Well, I'm very thankful for everything. I love every last one of you guys. You guys have been nothing but a huge blessing in my life, man. You know, just a simple comment, a simple DM, email. You know, we've gotten to help out so many people, man. So I accept gifts. And if you send me something, I'm going to wear it on camera. I'm going to wear it in public. You know, I appreciate everything. I'm grateful. I'm thankful, man. You know, the little things, you know, we've sent out thousands of gifts, hats, signs, t-shirts, hoodies, you know. So if you send me something, I'm most definitely gonna wear it. So I seen in the comments in our last video, someone said, Rick, I think I'm offended. Your hoodie, are you telling me to F off? And the family member, shout out to Rachel, that sent me that hoodie. It's telling the liberals and Democrats to F off. So if you've seen in my last video, I have a hoodie that says F off. And you know, hey, but I'm pretty sure that it was a joke. So I don't know, but I just want to keep you guys. I'm always very transparent on this channel, man. We want to be very transparent. We don't want to be a part of the fake news. You know, we want to be fair. You know, we want to spread love and keep it real with the people, man. And that's what this channel is all about. You know, laughing, love, good vibes, good energy. And if you don't like that, you can unsubscribe. You can get out of here. Woo, 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 woo. You know? But we're going to have fun. We're going to break it to you. We're going to break it down. And JD Vance does it again. I think the activists, these judges need to be put on the plane and let's just go and ship them away. Send them to El Salvador. Send them over here. Send them to Ukraine. Yeah. They ought to be impeached, walked out in handcuffs, removed from the bench. Yeah. You know, the people spoke loud and clear. Loud and clear. We don't got to make this up. Mandate. Every single swing state, people that don't get involved got involved. They seen the invasion we had in this country with the last 4 years. They know who was running it wide open. Come on in. beautiful souls that should still be here. Yeah. You know, a disgrace, man. No common sense. Too far left, too woke. We the people spit on, got to struggle, got to die. You know, unbelievable. Beautiful souls should still be here. Where's their due process? Put the judges on the plane, send them off. Judges think they outrank the president. Then what the hell's the point of a presidential election? What's the point of the election? You know, the people spoke loud and clear, man. So I'm going to go and read it out loud. JD Vance says, you cannot have a country where the American people keep on electing immigration enforcement and the courts tell the American people they're not allowed to have what they voted for. Man, there it is. There it is, man.
You cannot have a country where the American people keep on electing immigration enforcement and the courts tell the American people they're not allowed to have what they voted for. And that's where we are right now. We're going to keep working it through the immigration court process, through the Supreme Court as much as possible. And look, success to me is not so much a number, though obviously I'd love to see the gross majority of the illegal immigrants who came in under Biden deported. That actually is a secondary metric of success. Success to me is that we have established a set of rules and principles that the courts are comfortable with and that we have the infrastructure to do that allows us to deport large numbers of illegal aliens when large numbers of illegal aliens come into the country. That to me is real success.
You know, unbelievable, man. But, you know, senators, Democrats, on taxpayers' dime, flying to El Salvador, flying here and there. Can't send condolences to the families, you know, the ones who've lost loved ones. Can't stand up and clap for we the people, for grieving families, for a kid with cancer, you know. Vote against the people, you know, women rights scam, you know. They still want men and women's sports and locker rooms and bathrooms. A disgrace, man. We are really living in the most insane. We're living, I'm telling you, the biggest history yet. The dark times. Some of them patriots say the end times. You know, what was going on in America, man, is an absolute disgrace. And now we see one of the biggest scandals with the whole, you know, with Biden and having now cancer and just everything that's going on. The biggest scandal, and the fake news media couldn't tell the people the truth. Couldn't tell the truth. The lies, the misinformation, the bias, the fear mongering. You know, tell people the full thing, show them the full thing, tell them the full truth. They're cutting everything. They're cutting your rights. They're cutting this. They're cutting that. You're not going to have anything. It's going to cost an American family an extra $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. Oh, what? But we read it though. It says this. What are you saying? And this is why they've lost the people's trust. Can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. I'm glad our VP is going viral for this, man, because the people spoke loud and clear. You know, I also want to play this too. Him going in on the far left judges. NGOs are still 80 and have been Biden border invasion. I think you're seeing an effort by the courts to quite literally overturn the will of the American people. What a disgrace.
Illegal immigrants, by virtue of being in the United States, are entitled to some due process. Okay. But the due process
under a legislative stand, to be clear,
yes,
this is based on legislation. It's not based.
Where's Lake and Riley's due process? Where's that my mom's due process? Where's his family's due process? Who's missing a loved one?
The judges who are making these decisions are not inventing this standard. It is a legislative standard.
But the amount of process that is due and how you enforce those legislative standards and how you actually bring them to bear is I think very much an open question. And I think that what you've seen, and I remember when I was in law school, there were all of these people who were wanting to become immigration lawyers. And there was almost a certain buzz around immigration law at the time because there was so much gray area. There was so much open space where the courts would interpret how to apply these rules. Now, in the context of the United States in 2011, 2012, 13, when I was in law school, we had, significant illegal immigration, but not that much. There was this idea that you could use the asylum claim process and you could use the refugee process and you could use all of these other tools of the immigration enforcement regime to actually make it harder to deport illegal aliens. And then what happened is a lot of very well-funded NGOs went about the process of making it much harder to deport illegal aliens. And that's what we inherited in the year of our Lord, 2025, is a whole host of legal rules. And in some cases, not even legal rules as much as arguments that had been made by left-wing NGOs that hadn't actually been ruled on by the courts yet.
Right.
And what we're finding, of course, is that a small but substantial number of courts are just making it very, very hard for us to deport illegal aliens. And, Stephen Miller, who of course is sort of our immigration czar in the White House, a good friend of mine, he's thinking of all of these different and new statutory authorities, right? Because there are a lot of different statutory authorities the president has to enforce the nation's immigration laws. And there is candidly frustration on the White House side that we think that the law is very clear. We think the president has extraordinary plenary power. Yes, you need some process to confirm that these illegal aliens are in fact illegal aliens and not American citizens.
Right.
But that it's not like we're just throwing that process out. We're trying to comply with it as much as possible and actually do the job that we were left. And let me just make one final sort of philosophical point here.
Mm-hmm.
I worry that unless the Supreme Court steps in here, or unless the district courts exercise a little bit more discretion, we're running into a real conflict between two important principles in the United States. Principle one, of course, is that courts interpret the law. I think principle two is that the American people decide how they're governed, right? That's the fundamental small d democratic principle that's at the heart of the American project. I think that you are seeing, and I know this is inflammatory, but I think you are seeing an effort by the courts to quite literally overturn the will of the American people.
Wow. Boy, what do y'all think of that, man? Again, we've been saying this for the last couple hundred videos. We've been saying this exact same thing of what we've been seeing, man. A disgrace. And I know y'all, I come on here and I be making, but people think I'm joking. I be so serious. Put the judges on the plane. Walk them out. Hands behind their back. Impeach. Get rid of them. Remove them. Because the people spoke loud and clear. Loud and clear, man. Loud and clear. But we send our prayers. This administration, President Trump, America. I want to send my love and prayers to all you guys, man. We're living in some crazy times, and quite frankly, we don't know what to expect next. But every single day is a beautiful day. Guess what? Donald Trump is your president. Yes, indeed. I love y'all. God bless you all, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Let me know what you think of this. And JD Vance, peace and love, you guys.